Hello. Hiya. Hello, everyone. I hope you are all right. I hope everyone is good. It's just 7, so I'm just going to give maybe 2 more minutes so everyone can join. Hello, Berenice. I'm glad you're here. Hello, guys. It should be quite a lot of people, so we'll see who is joining on time or not. Maybe the heat, is affecting people as well. Hello, hello, hello. Hi, Larry. I'm good. Thank you. I hope you are too. I hope you guys are not melting with the heat. I know I am. It's too hot here. But yes, it's exciting. Yes, it's very exciting. I'm very happy that you're here and that we are going to do that masterclass together. So as I said, for now, it's just the chat. But once we get to the exercises, then if you want, you can send a little message in the chat and say, I would like to participate, and then I will choose one of you to work with me, etc. You don't have to, it's just easier to do it that way, so I can choose and so that people just don't speak at the same time. Because if you're like 50 or 60 people, it's going to be a bit complicated. But I hope you'll be happy to participate. Hello, so excited to be here. Good. I'm glad. So happy. Good. And how was the beginning of the week for you? Let me know in the chat. Was it fun? Are you on holiday or not yet? What's happening for you? Hello, Didi. So let me know in the chat. How is your week going? Good. Not great. I'm sure it's better than expected. Working, not very fun. Well, we all have to work, but I hope that you enjoy your work, so it's not, too bad. Hello. Okay, more people are joining. That's fantastic. Working for the start of schools. Yes, Veronique, I know you have lots of work to organize, and yes, lots of things. All right. Well, everyone will join, at some point. But let me try to share my screen. Let's see if that's going to work. I'm going to pin myself up. Okay. And just reopen the chat somewhere. Perfect. Guys, can you see my screen? Can you let me know in the chat so I don't start and like you don't hear me or you don't see me or yes. Okay, good. Yes, perfect. Good. Well, I can't. Okay, yes, I can see participants here. That's perfect. Okay, everything seems to work. We can start. You'll have access to the replay as well. So if you have to go or if you can't watch everything, that's fine. I'll send the replay so you're not missing anything. Okay. But welcome to this masterclass. We are going to talk about the 4 steps to reach the next level in English. So I know for a lot of people, you come to a certain level and then it's quite difficult to reach the next step, to go further, to stay motivated, to know what to do, lots of things like that. And so I wanted to give you some tips, ideas, and to work with you on trying to find a way for you to reach the next level. Okay, and level could be lots of different things, but just the next step, keep improving. Okay, that's the idea. All right, so I hope you're ready to go. I hope you're excited. I am. I was waiting all day for this. I was like, it's not 7 yet, but it's finally there. All right, so just to reintroduce myself, because I know some of my students are here, I know some colleagues are here, but some new people as well. So just to reintroduce myself, I'm Marion, so I'm French. Okay, I was born in France, I'm living in France. But I went to the UK and I lived there for about 2 years separately. First time just to study English and just to get better, and then a second time to study at university. And I studied linguistics and TESOL, which is teaching English to you guys, people who don't speak English. And with, I guess, this first experience in the UK, my level reached an advanced level quite quickly. But then staying in France, I managed to keep that level and to actually make it even better and to reach a C2 level, even if I was staying in France. So my level hasn't decreased with time, which is good. Thank God, because I'm teaching today. But yes, I started teaching in 2017, so quite a while already. And I'm helping you guys or people online. That's probably how you found me on socials. And we are now over 45,000 people. So that's quite cool. Thank you for following me and being there, you know. And fun fact about me, I do CrossFit 3 to 4 times a week. I'm quite addicted to it. And I've probably been to the UK over 20 times. Probably. I haven't counted the times, but since 2009, I think I'm going back there every year, once or twice at least. So yes, quite a lot. Quite a lot of time. Hello to everyone who is joining now. We've started, but don't worry, you're not missing anything yet. So that's cool. And again, don't hesitate to participate in the chat. Let me know if you can still hear me, if you're here, you know. I'm always happy to read the comments. So I know that, you know, I'm not talking to ghosts. All right. So let me ask you something. If you're here, is it because you feel that you're not improving in English anymore? Or is it because you feel like you're out of ideas to work on your English? Or maybe you're just struggling with motivation or dedication, or it could be just because you're happy to be here. Let me know in the comments if you can relate, if you think that this is you, or if you have any other reason, you know, what you're here. I'm just waiting for your answers. Happy to be here. Okay, good. I mean, I'm glad you're happy to be here anyway, you know. I haven't forced anyone, I swear. But let me know if you have a specific reason, you know, if you'd like to have more ideas, maybe new ideas, you know. Struggling with the accent mostly. Okay, that's interesting. Interesting, Berenice. Okay, so maybe some of the tips that I'm going to give you are going to help. Yes. Can't operate too quickly with answers. Okay. Work in an English environment actually and really need to improve my talking. Okay, good. I didn't have any occasion to practice as much as I would like. Wanted to hear some English. Okay. All right. That's great. Well, I guess, you know, you all have different reasons, which is, you know, fantastic, and all reasons are valid. And I hope with the tips that I'm going to give you, you'll have new ideas and ways to work on what you need. Okay. All right. So the 4 steps, what are they? Going straight there, you know, diving straight into the 4 steps. So the first step, we are going to work on your level and needs. Okay, so trying to analyze your level and what do you actually need, like what do you want to change, because if you don't know that, then like there is no reason, no work that is going to work to change your English. So second step is going to be setting different habits and automatisms. That's very important, most important probably if you're living in France or non-English speaking country. Step 3 will be working on your comprehension. And then step 4, producing better English. Okay, so that's the 4 steps that we're going to go through today, this evening with you. And then you see the practice will be at the end, but that's going to be probably the longest parts of this masterclass. And this is just like an, not introduction, but a bit shorter because I really wanted to practice with you guys. So Roman says, I want to change job and become flight attendant. Okay, that's cool. That's a really good goal. I hope you'll manage it. I'm sure you will. All right, let's go to step 1. You need to understand where you're at in terms of level, and you need to assess your needs as well. Okay, that's very important to just reflect at some point and to know where you're at and where you're going and why. Okay. Now, I tried to research some tests for you to know your level. And the best that I've tried is actually from EF. I'm not sponsored by EF. I don't actually like them. Don't tell anyone. But I think it's not a good company to work with or, you know, to go abroad with. But their test online is quite good because it is fast. You have a result straight away. You don't need to pay, you don't need an account. So it is quite good. And you have a reading and listening part, and you also have like a speaking part as well. So if you want to know more or less where you're at, I would say that's a pretty good test to do. I will put the link in an email that I will send you tomorrow, probably with the replay, so you can test your level. And just to show you, I've done it. I'm not sure why I got 88% in reading, which is quite a strong skill of mine. You don't get the answers. That's an annoying thing, but you know, maybe it's just mistakes, like random mistakes. I'm not sure, but I got 100% in the listening section. So overall, 94%. Okay, I think it's not bad, you know, advanced. That's probably my level. And then my speech test result was fluency, great, pronunciation, great. They give some examples and some words that you mispronounce as well. So I would say check this. EF tests on their website is quite good. And after, you'll have a better overview of what you need to work, probably. And if it's in terms of pronunciation and accent, then you can check this. That would be quite interesting as well. Okay, so this is just to know your level. Okay, so overall level. Okay, then what you need to know is, what do you need? Okay, do you need a specific level for a test, an English test? For example, to become a flight attendant, you need to take the TOEIC and to have specific results. Or, you know, do you need a more advanced level in speaking? But, you know, reading, writing, listening, you don't really care. It could be B2. Your needs, they don't have to be the same for all the different skills. Okay, for example, my writing is probably B2 and not C1 or C2 because I never write, and I don't write anything, you know, academic, I would say. So I write emails, that's fine. But you know, that's more or less it. So I would say my level would probably be a bit lower in writing than reading, speaking, listening, which are probably C2 now. Okay, so just so you know, it's fine to have different levels in terms of skills as well. Okay, it's not bad. Like, we don't care. It's not a contest. It's not a competition. Okay, now, in terms of your need, if you decide that I need an advanced level, this is more or less what is recommended in terms of hours to get that level. So normally to get an advanced level, you should work around 700 to 800 hours to get to that level, which is quite a lot. So it could feel a bit, pessimistic. But in fact, it's something that we used to do when we were at school. If you analyze all the time that we had at school, all the different years, we had so much English, but it didn't really change anything, probably because it wasn't the right way. So I guess it is just for your information, but it should be done the right way as well. Because if you do 700 hours in 10 years, that's not going to help your English, really. That's not going to help, except maybe understanding the language a bit more. But that's overall it, So try to see what you need and how many hours can you put to work, how many hours can you add to your week to get to that level. So for me, when I was in England, studying English only, I had 4 hours every morning, so Monday to Friday, which is overall 20 hours. I was also an au pair. I was living in the UK, so 20 hours is just the active work that I was doing. But for me, it was more 24/7 because I didn't know any French speakers. But overall, active work, at the school was 20 hours. And so 80 hours a month, probably. And I stayed for about 9 months, which is 800 hours, more or less. Okay. But this could be a bit discouraging, but I want you to know that after 3 months, I started in the A2 level when I arrived in the UK. After 3 months, I was already in the C1 level, in the advanced level. I didn't have 700 hours of active work on my English, but I was working and I was surrounded by English 24/7. So I guess, that's why I got that level really quickly in the end. So it's a bit discouraging to see these hours, but you can make up for them. So you don't have to study for 9 months. You don't have to study for 6 months, but you should be aware that you need to study and work, for some time. You need to do it. I think the best way for me is to be quite intense. So if you do some intensive work for about 2 months, 3 months, and you surround yourself with a lot of English, then you can get to the next level very quickly. Okay, so it doesn't need to be 9 months or 8 months, but that's just the amount that you should normally work on to get to that level. So yes, I don't know if that makes sense for you, but I mean, it was correct for me in terms of results at the end, but I got the results much more or much faster than expected, because in fact I was there 24/7. Yes, but this is probably what you need. Okay, now moving on. Now that you know, or you will know, your level and your needs, you need to set different goals. Okay, and I like to call them PR goals, because you need a precise goal and you need a reachable goal. So something that is precise and something that you can reach. Okay, because if you just say, I want to be fluent is not precise and it's not really reachable, because then you don't know what it means really. So you need a precise and reachable goal. And for me, you need 2 types of goals. You need a short term and then a long term. Okay, so short term, for example, I want to master the TH sound. And this could be over 1 week, 2 weeks max. You don't need more time. And at the end, you will manage to do it because everyone can. Okay, and you need short terms to win. You need a win. Okay, so then you can keep improving and you see that progress. Okay, it's very important for your motivation. And then long term could be, I want to be able to speak more naturally without thinking too much. Okay, so long time could be 1 month, maybe 2 months. I don't recommend more than that because then it's too far ahead. But it's a bit more general, but it's still precise and reachable, because I want to be able to speak more naturally without thinking too much. By the end of your short-term goals, you probably can think, okay, I'm a bit more comfortable to speak. I would say 50% of the time, I think less in French. Okay, so that's something you can measure. Okay, and if you do that, then, it's going to be easier and easier to reach your short-term goals to get to the long-term goals. Okay. And remember, your needs might be different than your goals. So be very careful. For example, again, if you need to take the TOEIC for an exam, for a job, you don't need the speaking part of the TOEIC. So maybe you want to speak more fluently, but there is no speaking in the TOEIC, for example. So be careful with your needs and your goals. So, everything is coherent, related, to get to what you want. Okay, does that make sense? Are you still here? Is everyone okay? Let me know in the comments. No, we're not on Instagram. Let me know in the chat. Sorry. Yes. Okay, cool. That's perfect. All right, just a little stop here. I'm here listening from the Reunion Island. Wow, that's so cool. If you want, share this on your stories on Instagram and tag me. I would love to see you and see your accounts as well, to follow you, because, I just want to connect with you guys and see what you're doing. So take a picture, maybe when I'm smiling, not like that. And tag me on Instagram or Facebook. I don't mind, but I would love to see you, okay, and chat with you, of course. Okay, step 2. I told you this was going to be quite short to go to the practice session. What time is it? We're good. Now, step 2, once you know your level, your needs and goals, you need to set new habits and automatism. Okay, that's very important, because you can't keep doing what you're doing if you want to reach next goals. Okay, it's not possible. You need to do new things. You need to do things differently. Okay, so I would say, because you're not living in an English speaking country, or except for some of you guys there, but I would say that focus on 60% of input and 40% of output. Usually in languages, we say, you have to speak, you have to, produce English, you have to write all the time. But it's not realistic here in France, for example, to do that, because you don't have the chance to do it, Just you're living in France, the language is French. So it gets quite tricky to do that. So I would say focus on 60%, so you're comfortable with listening. You understand different accents, you understand when you're reading, and then it's going to be easier to produce the English. Okay, so you need to create your immersion. Sorry, I'm losing my voice already. That's not a good thing. So you need to recreate that bubble. Okay, and I'm going to give you tips just after that, but you need to do that in order to then speak and write, aka produce, better English. Okay, so you create that bubble, and then, because you're going to have so much input, listenings, audios, podcasts, whatever, then after it's going to be easier for you to redo it and produce it. Okay, let me give you some examples and tips, guys. So tips to increase your input. Input means you receive. So you're not producing, but you're receiving English. You could be doing that. You could be reading an article every week. It sounds, a bit too much, maybe a bit tiring for you, but you have lots of articles that are great to read. You have the BBC, for example. One article a week is not too much, but it changes so much for your English, like so many things that you can learn. So try to read an article every week. And then you can watch different shows and shows with different accents. For example, if you're watching series with British accents, try to watch an American series after. Okay, so you're changing the accents, you're not comfortable. You need to be uncomfortable to evolve. Okay. And trying to change the topics as well. So if you're watching an investigation, okay, so you have a crime, the police, etc., try to watch something different. I don't know, romantic or historical shows, things like that. So different accents, different topics. Okay. Listen to podcasts every time you're driving or every time you're commuting, you know. So you could be using the train, you could be on the bus, listen to podcasts. You don't have to listen to podcasts about grammar. That's so boring. Just listen to podcasts about things you love, sports, travels, history. You have lots of different options, especially in English. You have really good content in English. And there is no excuse. We all have time during the day when we're driving or, you know, we're a bit passive. Just listen to podcasts. You're washing the dishes, listen to a podcast. You're having a shower, listen to a podcast. Okay, I do that even if I'm brushing my teeth. I have a podcast on. I'm a bit crazy about podcasts, to be honest. Okay, the next thing you can do is follow newspapers on socials. So this is something that I didn't realize I was doing, but in fact, it's very important to improve because we are on social media quite a lot, unfortunately, probably. So try to follow newspapers, and it could be, you know, the BBC, the Guardians, it could be different newspapers, the New York Times, you know, but just, for example, on Facebook or Instagram, you have headlines. So you have usually a picture and then you have a headline. And just reading that headline, you have amazing words, amazing vocabulary in them. And it's just a repetitions for you because maybe you've watched a show about a crime the day before, and then you're seeing the same vocabulary just scrolling down your feed on Facebook or Instagram. And that repetition, even if you don't remember what the word means, at some point it will be fine and you will know it just because you've seen it a lot of times. So try to do that, follow different newspapers. It doesn't need to be really serious newspapers as well. I'll give you some examples after of different things that I follow. But yes, that works really well. And another thing you can do is follow a couple of teachers online. A couple, because if you follow too many teachers online, it's, you know, it's like you're having 100 different videos, 100 different vocabulary every day. It doesn't work. You know, it's too much for you. So it's good because you're having lots of information, but it's too much for you to process. So in the end, nothing changes because, you know, you're just scrolling and, you know, maybe liking, maybe commenting, but it's not changing anything for you because just too many options, too many things. So try to select a couple of teachers. I would say if you focus on one accent, follow just one specific region, for example, or, you know, select one that could be Irish, one British, one American, one Australian, you know, and that's it, and just focus on them and what they offer, produce, you know, is going to be much better than 100. Okay. Okay, just checking if everyone is here. Okay, good. So, tips to increase your output. So output means you're producing. And remember, you should produce at least 40% of the time some English. One thing you can do is talk to yourself. I know it sounds a bit crazy, but believe me, it works. I also do that in Spanish, and I talk to myself, and there is one sentence that I remember just because I said it and pronounced it, you know. So talk to yourself. Yes, Veronique says, I very often speak to myself. Yes, you know, if you don't have an option, talk to yourself. Okay, it's going to help with the pronunciation and just repetitions again, so you can memorize better. Okay. You could also join a speaking group or a program. So a speaking group could be free. You have different options, free options, or a program if you want to improve faster and have feedbacks as well. That's optional, but if you can, that's an option that works really well, of course. You can also have a diary. So have a little notebook where you write things in English. It could be just summary of your day, or your goals, anything that you usually write in your notebook. Try to do it in English. Same for your to-do lists, your grocery shopping lists. Try to do that in English. Remember, we are not living in an English-speaking country, so you need to fake it. So try to recreate that bubble, and believe me, it will work wonders. Okay. Another thing you can do is send voice notes. So you have options, with the phone now, you can send voice notes. And this is great because you don't have to sit face to face or in front of your laptop for an hour talking to someone. You can just reply with voice notes in English. So try to find someone who would like to practice and just send voice notes. Okay. I'm quite proficient with myself. With others, I could be at a loss for words. Okay, yes, that's normal. Usually in our head, we sound more fluent, more, advanced. And then when we have to speak to another person, we are blocked or stressed. There is a lot of emotions, and so it's quite difficult. But with practice, again, and putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, it will get easier and easier. Do you have names of podcasts to improve our English? Yes, I can list some of them in the email as well tomorrow. I'll give you some that I listened to and had to research for them. Okay. Another thing that you can do is, if you are in a big city, or not too big, but if you have a pub, try to see if they have quiz night. Okay, a quiz night is typical thing where you go to the pub, and then on Thursday, usually, they have a quiz. So you form a team with people, you answer questions, everything is in English, it's a lot of fun, and you just have a drink with your friends and you speak English. Completely free again. And I know in Bordeaux, pubs are doing that. So you probably can find some places where they do that. And even if you don't participate at first, just join, have a look, and try to think, oh, what could I answer? Or what could I say? At first, it's fine to analyze and to observe before trying. You don't have to jump right in and be comfortable straight away. It's normal to be a bit uncomfortable. Okay. So these are all the things you can do to increase the output and input. And you should do that basically every day. I'm not going to lie to you. You should do it every day. Of course, you don't go to the pub every day, but you should have something during your day that is in English, something that you're listening, and something that you are producing. Okay, that's the best way to improve. Okay, and if you look at these options, it's not too difficult to do. I think you can, all do one of the things once a day. I think that's quite realistic, I think. What do you think? Is it something that you will be able to do in the future, do you think? Or do you think it's a bit too much or too difficult? What is your opinion, guys? It's fine to have different opinions as well. Let me check if I have emails of people who can't join or anything. I already do a lot of them. Okay, good, Veronique, that's great. Anyone else who's doing them already, or anyone else who is motivated to change these habits? Okay, Lewis says, I'm already using these tips and I agree that you can always find time. Yes. Yes, that's true. We don't have time to do everything in one day, of course, but you can implement different things, different days, and do them. Yeah, playing games sometime. How to become more quick thinker? I guess practice. And you will probably have some delay as well, but that's fine, because then you can mimic and copy what other people are doing. For example, if you're not sure, then you can say, well, I'm not really sure, and then start with your sentence. So there is lots of things that you can do to sound fluent, even if inside you're like, oh, I need to think of my answer. There is lots of things like that. I never thought of doing it for my grocery list. Yes, it's just a good way to practice different vocabulary and just implementing your English during your day. Okay, cool. So this is an example of not newspapers, but things, channels, profiles, accounts that I follow on Facebook, mostly on Facebook, and a little bit on Instagram as well. You can follow them on different social media. You have them everywhere. But just to show you that it doesn't need to be news only, okay? But for example, I follow Unilad, and I took this probably last week, can't remember. But I was thinking that's a really good way to learn that you can use debut in English, even if it's a French word that, oops, sorry, I clicked on it. But you can use it in English as well. And then you can check the pronunciation because it's debut in English. And again, very easy to understand, but it's just like, okay, I didn't know that. Let's check. And then I also follow Visit London because I'm addicted to the UK. So I follow Visit London, Visit Scotland, Visit everything in the UK. And it's great because you usually have amazing pictures. And again, you could have interesting vocabulary, for example, landmarks and unforgettable. So maybe you know these words, maybe it's good just to recap on them, or maybe they're new words. And another example is ITV News and has granted, for example. So this is a story that I've heard a lot in the UK, sad story, but ITV News is quite good for a mix of news, but things that are not too serious, and then news that are a bit more serious as well. And again, you can't just follow them. You don't have to read everything, but just sometimes once during your day, analyze a bit more what they post, what they write. And something I do as well, and that's more for an input process, is to analyze the comments. So check the comments. How do people write about these stories? What do they say? And then if you want to work on the output, then reply to the comments. Okay, for example, if it's a picture of London, it's a bit easier, to reply and say something like, wow, that's amazing. I can't believe that I was there just last week and blah, 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 And this could be just one of the exercises that you can do one day, and it takes 5 minutes. Okay, so this is just to show you that you have lots of options, but you just need to choose. And again, select 2 or 3 that you like, and then follow them on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, whatever social media you're using. And so you can just see them again and again. Okay. All right. That's not bad. Step 3, okay, going to the comprehension section. So work on your comprehension. We've talked about levels, needs, goals, and what to do, really. But what can you do? What specific exercises can you do to work on your comprehension? Okay, so to work on your comprehension, you need to look at your short-term goals and long-terms, okay? And you decide what can you do. So what kind of exercises can I do to improve these goals and to work on them? So I gave you an example. Short term, learn 10 more advanced words per week. And long term could be express myself in a more advanced way and use specific vocabulary. So these are an example of short term that you can do in 1 week, 2 weeks term, and then long term is looking at more like 1 month, okay? And this is just an easy goal overall, 10 more words per week, it's not too much, I think. Remember, you're living in France. It's quite difficult to learn a list of 15 words every day. It's not, I'm not saying it's impossible, but I think it's possible for a short-term goal, but then you're going to forget them. So try to do things that are doable in France, okay? And an example that I'm going to give you is with a text. So, sorry, just trying to decrease, yes, the chat. Okay, so here it's a text about climate change. So it's not very optimistic, but I just thought it was really good in terms of vocabulary. So we'll just look at that. I went on the BBC. I selected one of the first articles that I've seen, okay? And it was about climate change and heat waves. We are experiencing heat waves a lot here in France, a lot in different countries. So I thought, it's good context because we can see these words more often now. So I selected this article. It's not the full article, but just to show you that you don't even need to read the full article, okay? This is just the headline that is under the picture. And these are the 2 first paragraphs. That's it. And in these paragraphs, you have amazing vocabulary. So I'm going to explain to you how I managed to remember vocabulary. And that's my 3-step method. Okay, step 1. I normally look at the vocabulary in context, always. So I read an article, I watch a movie, I listen to a song, anything but with the context, not just what is the English word for method? No. Okay. After, I select only useful vocabulary. So useful for me could be different for you, okay? Vocabulary that I can reuse, that I know I will have the context to reuse it. Okay. And then step 2, I search for the definitions in English. I analyze the examples, I work on the pronunciation, and then I'm trying to think, is that the good example and the good context for the context that I have in my article or the movie? Because sometimes you have different contexts. Okay. And then step 3, sorry. I didn't write step 3, apparently, but that's fine. Step 3, then I work on examples. Okay, so I write some examples and I try to reuse them in, let's say, if I learn 4 new words, I'm thinking this week I have to reuse them no matter what. So it's like a challenge a little bit. Okay, so the last step is to actually reuse them, and you need to force yourself. So you need to make a little list. And then you need to reuse them with yourself in the voice notes. You need to research them, etc. Okay. And then step 4, if needed only. If you don't understand the definition, the examples, it happens. We have some difficult words, it's normal. Then you can search for the French translation, but it should be the last resort, the last thing that you do, only because it's too easy for your brain. If you search for the French translation, you have like method. How are you going to remember that? You don't have any visual help, you're not really working on it. So it's quite tricky to remember them in the long run if you just do that. And if you even remember from school, when you had the English and French translation, for example, for the irregular verbs, we repeated the irregular verbs for 7 years, probably. So that's why you remember them. But if you don't do that, if you don't have these kind of repetitions for years and years, it's not going to help much. But if you do this, then you're going to learn more vocabulary, and that's the specific thing. You're going to be able to reuse them in the right context. I've had the example last week with one of my students. She knows lots of words, lots of vocabulary, but very often it's not the right context. And she was using the verb to dare very often. Like, I dared to go outside. I dare to do this. And I was like, it's a bit strong to use I dare. Maybe you could say I'm okay with, or I managed to do it, or different options. But this is just a clear example that she learned to dare. What is it in French? To dare. Anyone can help me? What is to dare in French? Oser. That's the French word. Yes, thank you, Veronique. So she just learned that it's the verb oser, and that's it. And if you do that, then you don't have the right context in English to reuse them, and it sounds strange. So not fluent at all. Even if you're using a very good verb in English, people will think, oh, that's a bit strange. Like, what did you want to say? So that's why this method works quite well. Okay. Okay. I'm glad you're still here, guys. Now we have this text. Okay. Now I've selected some of the words, but can anyone tell me, just reading quickly through the text, which verbs, words, adjectives could be interesting for you to remember? Let me know in the chat who would like to participate. And let's say you have to choose 3-4 words, not more, because you want to reuse them, and you want to work with the method, the 3-step methods. So who would like to participate and find these specific words? Let me see. So who would like to do that? You can leave me a message on the chat, and then I can unmute you. No worries if you're stressed. Okay, there is no judgment. We'll probably laugh a lot. That's normal. But you can do it. It's just choosing the words that are going to be useful for you to study and reuse. So who would like to work with me? I can see like people are panicking. Let me know in the chat. If not, I can do it alone, but it's just, a bit better if you want to do it yourself, so you can have a clear example.
Maybe I can join the discussion here.
Yes. Sorry, who is speaking? I don't have your name or picture. Who's popping?
It's Kate. Okay, it doesn't matter actually.
Okay.
I just want to add my observation about this. I would take advantage of some of these words. For example, delivery. I really into this word, and collapse. I mean, it's in one sentence, but I'm really into these words. And sweltering. So it's 3 words that I adore this, because sweltering we can use when it's hot outside. We can say it's sweltering and so on. And about maybe another, just a moment, unnoticed. Maybe it's a good one.
Very good. So, yes. That's fantastic. Yeah. And you see, it's just like short paragraphs, but you already can notice very interesting words that you might know but might not use, or words that you would like to know because are just interesting. And that's the kind of exercise that you can do. And I completely agree with you. In fact, the words that I selected are collapsed, sweltering, hovered, okay, passed out, unnoticed at least, and heat stroke. So a bit more than 4, but you'll see why. So thank you for participating.
Thanks a lot.
And that was great, and completely agree. But here you have the definitions. Okay, so basically I took the words, I searched for the definition in English because that's the first thing you do. If you don't know them, if you understand it with the context, you don't need to search for them. But for example, these words, you might not know them. For example, collapsed, which means to fall down because something is wrong. That's to collapse, which is quite similar to pass out, okay, which is to become unconscious. But if you collapse, maybe you're not unconscious. It could be, but also you have context where you're not unconscious, okay? Sweltering is great because it gives you another adjective, more advanced adjective to say that it's so hot, so hot, okay? And hovered, I selected it, but I think it's one of the words for me that I wouldn't remember or try to remember because it's just very specific and I don't think I could reuse it really. It means to stay in one place in the air. It's like hovered above you. It's just something that I wouldn't use. If you look at the sentence, is here, temperatures that hovered well above 35 degrees. I just wouldn't use it. So it's one of the examples that I selected for you to see that not all the words are good to reuse. For me, for example, maybe for you it's different. If you want to work and do the forecast on TV, it is a good word. Okay. But for me personally, I don't think I would reuse it, okay? But collapse, sweltering, or to pass out, great. Like these are really good words, okay? And one thing that you can do as well is write words that you know as well, but maybe you're not using them enough. For example, unnoticed. Oh, I know the verb to notice, but maybe I don't really use the adjective and I don't use the opposite, unnoticed. So that's interesting. And at least, maybe I don't use that word as much as I should. For example, I could use it at least once a day, once a week. Okay, so this is just a quick exercise that you can do to work on your comprehension. And it takes, let's say, time to find the article, but you can find lots of them easily. Just work on a couple of paragraphs. You don't even need the full text. And then do the 3-step method. So I would say probably 15 minutes to 20 minutes for a complete overview of the comprehension work that you have to do. So Ingrid says, hovered is a new word for me. Yes. It's a bit less common, it's a bit more advanced, it's a very specific verb. So that's why I'm saying probably not useful for a lot of people to use, So again, could be different for everyone, but just try to analyze, is that useful for me? Yes, no, be real with yourself. It's not a competition of knowing 10 vocabulary every day, of learning more words than the other person. We don't really care about that. Okay. Do you have any questions with this specific exercise? I can, if you want, I can send you the slides as well, if you want to review them and work on them. But let me know in the chat if it's okay with you before moving on to the next step. It's all very clear. Okay, fantastic. Love that. Good, good, good. Okay, then step 4 is produce better English. Still okay for me? Okay, thanks, Lewis and Romain. Perfect. Okay, step 4, produce better English. So all your comprehension and all the work that you do 60% of the time is going to help to produce better English. So to speak better, to write better, that's when you produce your English, okay? And one technique that you can reuse is the shadowing technique. You probably heard about this before, but it's very effective for pronunciation, intonation, basically working on your accent, what we call pronunciation, intonation, stress, all of that, which is things that we work on in the CS Academy. But here I'm explaining what is exactly the shadowing technique, okay? Basically, it's repeating exactly what you're hearing. For example, you select one sentence in your movie, okay? So you focus on one only. It could even be one word for the intonation or pronunciation. And then you have the English subtitles. So you read it at the same time, okay? It's very important to have the subtitles for this, because then I guess it's too complicated. You might miss some words, okay? Then you listen a second time. So you go back, replay the sound, the sentence, and then you hide the subtitle, or just don't look, look, or someone who is next to you or something. And then you repeat the sentence and you try to do that exactly in the same way. Sometimes it's very easy, sometimes it's not, okay? It depends on the accent of the person, of the words, etc., etc. But it's very important to do it if you want to work on your pronunciation and accent. And also is going to help with understanding how people speak, okay? So working on these techniques, is going to help overall your English. That's it. And to give you a precise example, I selected one sentence, okay? So you can see the sentence here. So I'm going to play it. Let me know if you can hear it. I hope you can. Let me know in the chat. I'm going to play it and let me know if you can hear it.
So I absolutely love the character. Kate was just a fascinating character to dive into.
Okay, did you hear that? Yes. Okay, cool. So here I selected that sentence. First, if you haven't watched Anatomy of a Scandal on Netflix, it's fantastic. So you can go and watch it. And I really like that sentence because you have adverbs, you have different intonation, and it's something that you could say very often in English. Okay, so let's listen a second time, and then I will ask someone to repeat. Okay, so don't panic. Okay, just try to repeat exactly what you hear. So let's play it a second time.
So I absolutely love the character. Kate was just a fascinating character to dive into.
Okay, who would like to do it? Who would like to participate? Again, no stress, no judgment, we're all here to practice, so don't worry. And if you don't want to do it again, I can just pronounce it myself, but it's just good practice for you. So let me know in the chat, and then you can unmute yourself. Is it possible?
I can pronounce it, or maybe some other person.
Yes. Well, you can go ahead. I'll just replay it once, and then you can try.
Okay.
Okay.
So I absolutely love the character. Kate was just a fascinating character to dive into.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I give it a shot. I absolutely love the character. Kate was a fascinating character. And dive into. That's something
Good.
like this.
No, that's really good. Pronunciation and intonation was great. Now, you could exaggerate a bit more some of the syllables. For example, I absolutely loved the character. Kate was just a fascinating character to dive into. Okay, so absolutely, character, fascinating. Okay, fascinating character. Okay, do you want to replay and repeat?
Oh, no, I can try it. Okay. I absolutely love the character. Kate was a fascinating character. Dive into. Oh my God.
That's great. Don't forget the to before, because it's to dive into, but she wasn't sure which verb she was going to say. She was like, character to what? To dive into. Okay. but that was really good, really, really good. So good pronunciation. That's
okay,
cool.
but it was really I'm a little bit relieved now because it was stressed.
I know it's stressful, but you see,
Yeah.
it's done. You did a good job, so congrats. You can be proud.
Thanks a lot.
No worries. And I think Berenice wants to try as well, so let's go. Berenice, where are you?
Hi, I'm here.
Good, 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 great. Do you want to listen to it one more time, or do you want to go?
No, that's fine. I can go. As my pronunciation is my weakness, I think it's good to try.
Okay.
Okay. I absolutely loved the character. Kate was just a fascinating character to dive into.
Okay, good, good, good. I would say the only thing is probably the first part. I absolutely love the character. And then, you know, pause a little bit. Kay was just a fascinating character to you can link the words here to dive into.
Yeah, I'm speaking too fast.
Yes, just relax, but
Okay.
it was good. Let's try again.
Mm-hmm. I absolutely loved the character. Kate was just a fascinating character to dive into.
Good, good, good. So your intonation was rising a little bit at the end, probably because you're like, is it good now? Yes.
Exactly.
But yes, it's great. Very good. Let's just listen a last time for everyone, so then you can compare and, you know, maybe notice some of the things as well, some of the intonation.
I absolutely love the character. Kate was just a fascinating character to dive into.
Very good, very, very good. So good job, everyone. Not easy, but you did great. And this is something you can do at home, okay? Just analyze the subtitle and just repeat, okay? And you don't have to do that 10 times. You don't have to do it every day, even if every day is a good, you know, it's a good amount. But that's the kind of word that will improve your pronunciation, your intonation as well, because you can copy the different intonation, and just it works really well, really. So easy to do. And again, if you do that with different accents, different types of people as well, in terms of age, men, women, in terms of nationalities, you know, it will get better and better. So it takes time, but if you do this, and, you know, again, if you work on all the other things, your English will be just a copy of what you hear, in fact. So that's what we want, really, to sound better. We just want to copy people. That's the thing. And of course, it's fine if you have, you know, having an accent. A French accent is normal. We all have accents. So especially, like, I know, Berenice, if you live in the UK, you know that they have different accents, even 5 minutes away from you or from each other, they have different accents. So everyone does. So, you know, we all have to relax about the accent as well. Just relax. Okay. Good job. But yes, don't forget to watch Anatomy of a Scandal. And I loved the characters, the actors, fantastic. Okay. I will be running a bit late, but if you want to stick with me, feel free to stay. The second technique I want to work with today is the gap fill technique. This is a bit more scholar, but I'm going to show you something that is great to use at home and it's quite fun. So a gap fill is basically you have sentences and then you have gaps, okay? And you have to write something or to think about the word, okay? Again, this is something that you're like, oh, but it is writing and then listening. So how is it going to help my speaking? Again, if you understand what people say clearly, if you understand the words, if you understand how they say it, then it's going to have an indirect effect on your speech, because then you will copy it. That's it. You will mimic it. So try to work on that. Again, great way to work on your speech after. Okay. And for that, I have to go, but thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Berenice. Great job. good job. I want to give you one free thing. It's called lyrics training. And lyrics training is a website or an app that you can use. It's free. And I think it's really good. Again, not sponsored, but it's just a fantastic way to work on your English. You can select different languages, select English, and then you can find or research directly songs or people that you love to listen to. And basically, for example, if you search for Adele or Ed Sheeran or any different singers, you will find the song with the lyrics, and then at some point you will have a closed gap option, so you can choose. For example, eyes, her eyes, what is the correct word? Here it's an easy level, so you can choose her eyes, okay? Or if it's a bit more difficult, you have the open gap option. For example, here you can see you have certain words, but some of them are missing and you have to write them. So you have closed and open gap, and you have different levels as well: beginner, intermediate, advanced. So this is a great way to have fun with songs and just to work on your comprehension, how people actually speak. So then you can mimic it, you can repeat how they speak, okay, to improve your speech. I wanted to practice with you on this. I don't know if you're going to see it. Can you still see the screen that is going to open now? Let me know in the comment or in the chat. I keep saying comments. Yes. Okay, so you see the blue screen of lyrics training, right? Thank you so much for this tip. I have a lesson in Britney Spears soon. Yes, good. Fantastic. Okay, so you see, I selected the Ed Sheeran Merry Christmas song. You can choose the different modes, so closed or open gap. You just click start. You don't want to download anything, not now. And then you go. Okay.
Build a fire and gather around the tree. Fill a glass and...
Okay, so then it stops automatically. You have a timer, so it's quite stressful, but you know, you don't really have to. You can pause it if you want, continue, you can think a little bit. I didn't even realize what the lyric was. Build the fire or the tree. Build the fire, let's say, yes. And gather, I think it was gather round the tree, probably. Yes. Okay, good. So, oh, sorry. Where are you? Here. So this is a clear example. You know, it's quite fun. It's already there. You can use all the songs you want. You can use different levels, okay? And this is an option of an easier mode, but you can have the other mode as well. And it's just great because then you can repeat and listen to the song again. And you're like, oh, he pronounced it that way. Let me repeat it with the shadowing technique. Okay, this is just fun, I think, to work on. It's free, you have access to it. You don't need to pay anything. You don't need a teacher to do it, a coach to help you. So if you like music, and I think everyone does, hello, Anne. I think it's just a very good way to work on them. And this is how you do it, basically. And you can pair it with the shadowing technique as well. Once you've worked on it, you've answered all the questions, just listen to the song again and then do the shadowing technique. And after that, let's say you do that for a month or even 2 weeks. I'm sure you'll see the difference just in your speaking and how you understand people as well, different accents. I'm sure it's helpful. Okay. Let's go back to the presentation. All right. Where is the chat here? Okay, so that's it for today. I'm 10 minutes behind. That's not too bad, I think. But guys, here you go. You have all the tips now. You have different techniques, different strategies. You're ready to go and to work on your own. As I said, you know, you can do everything by yourself. You just need to think about short term so you can win. It's very important to win, okay? So try to remember to do things for fun. Try to do things where you can win. You know, you can see the progress. You can say, oh, I understood. I've managed it. I worked on it and it's good now. And then work on your long-term goals as well at the same time, so that at the end, after 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 1 month, you can already see the improvement. And if you do that, you can keep going for a very long time. And, you know, I'm sure you'll see the improvement. So I hope you've enjoyed, guys. Don't hesitate to send me a little message. I hope, you know, it wasn't too long or anything, but really good job for practicing and working with me today. Yes, I mean, that's more or less it. I hope you'll have a very good evening. I've recorded this masterclass, so if you couldn't participate, I'm going to send the replay and the slides as well, so you can work on them, have the different links for the lyrics training, the test from EF, etc. And if you have any question or if you want to chat, send me a little message. I will be happy to chat with you guys. And hopefully see you for next masterclass, if there is one, probably someday, not sure when. But thank you for joining. Thank you, everyone. Really, it was lovely. A lot of new ideas to practice. That's great. I'm happy. I'm glad. Great moment. Thank you so much. I was sure I was going to learn something. Oh, good, Veronica. I'm glad you've enjoyed it. It was fun, really informative. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Well, fantastic. Happy you like them, guys. See you soon, hopefully. Send me a little message on Instagram if you want. And see you another time. Bye, guys. See ya.